Hey, what's up, guys? You're now listening to Devo with Uncle Theo. Today is day 173, and we're going to cover Job chapters 30 through 33. Remember, we were covering Job's final words to his friends. We left off with that in chapter 29, and he's going to close those arguments out in chapter 30 and 31. And obviously, he's going to continue to vent about the suffering that he's been forced to endure and the mocking that he's received along with it. This is verse 1. But now they mock men younger than I, whose fathers I would have disdained to put with my sheepdogs. Of what use was the strength of their hands to me? Verse 9, he continues, and now these young men mock me in song. I have become a byword among them. They detest me and keep their distance and do not hesitate to spit in my face. Now that God has unstrung my bow and afflicted me, they throw off restraint in my presence. On my right, the tribe attacks. They lay snare for my feet. They build their siege ramps against me. They break up my road. They succeed in destroying me. No one can help me, they say, and now my soul is poured out within me. Days of suffering grip me. Night pierces my bones. My gnawing pains never rest. In his great power, God becomes like clothing to me. He says, I cry out to you, God, but you do not answer. I stand up, but you merely look at me. You turn on me ruthlessly. With the might of your hand, you attack me. And as we walk into the last chapter of Job's defense, he continues to state his innocence and he becomes more passionately about it by speaking the areas of his life where he's been pure and holy. In verse 1, he says, I made a covenant with my eyes to not look lustfully at a young woman. For what is our lot from God above? Our heritage from the Almighty on high. Is it not ruin for the wicked, disaster for those who do wrong? Does he not see my ways and count my every step? If my steps have turned from the path, if my heart has been led by my eyes, or if my hands have been defiled, then may others eat what I have sown, and may my crops be uprooted. He hits lust, now he's hitting other injustices. If I've denied justice from any of my servants, whether male or female, when they had a grievance against me, what will I do when God confronts me? What will I answer when called to account? Did not he who made me in the womb make them? Did not the same one form us both within our mothers? If I have denied justice to any of my servants, whether male or female, when they had a grievance against me, what will I do when God confronts me? What will I answer when called to account? Did not he who made me in the womb make them? Did not the same one form us both within our mothers? Job gets a little more passionate in verse 35. He says, oh, that I had someone to hear me. I signed my defense. Let the Almighty answer me. Let my accusers put his indictment in writing. Surely I will wear it on my shoulders. I will put it on like a crown. I will give him an account of my every step. I will present it to him as to a ruler. If I have devoured his yields without payment, if my land cries out against me, and all the furrows are wet with tears, if I have devoured its yield without payment, or broken the spirit of his tenants, let the briars come up instead of wheat, and stinkweed instead of barley. And this is where it concludes. In chapter 31, it says, the words of Job are ended. And this is the character that I have been telling you about, Elihu. He's the fourth counselor. He's younger than all of the three, and he just doesn't come on the scenes by his language. He's been standing on the sidelines, listening and deferring to the other three counselors first. And we see that in the very first few verses. It says, so these three men stopped answering Job because he was righteous in his own eyes. But Elihu, son of Barachel, the Buzite, the family of Ram, and this is basically the most important piece of evidence on why most people believe that this is a very early book, because of these family names would put him somewhere during the time of Genesis between Jacob and Joseph. It says he became very angry with Job for justifying himself rather than God. He was also angry with the three friends because they had found no way to refute Job and yet had condemned him. Now Elihu had waited before speaking to Job because they were older than he. It says, but when he saw that the three men had nothing more to say, his anger was aroused. And Elihu says, I am young in years and you are old. That is why I was fearful, not daring to tell you what I know. I thought age should speak. Advanced years should teach wisdom. But it is the spirit in a person, the breath of the Almighty, that gives them understanding. It is not only the old who are wise, not only the aged who understand what is right. Therefore I say, listen to me. I too will tell you what I know. I waited while you spoke. I listened to your reasoning. While you were searching for words, I gave you my full attention. But none of you has proved Job wrong. None of you has answered his arguments. Do not say we have found wisdom. Let God, not man, refute him. But Job has not marshaled his own words against me, and I will not answer him with your arguments. I too will have my say. I too will tell what I know, for I am full of words, and the spirit within me compels me. Inside I am like bottled up wine, like new wineskin ready to burst. I must speak and find relief. I must open my lips and reply. I will show no partiality, nor will I flatter anyone, for if I were skilled in flattery, my maker would soon take me away. So Elihu believes he has the answers to everything that Job is facing. So he sets the stage in chapter 32, and now he's about to speak directly to Job in chapter 33. But now, Job, listen to my words. Pay attention to everything I say. I'm about to open my mouth. The words are on the tip of my tongue. My words come from an upright heart. My lips sincerely speak what I know. The Spirit of God has made me. The breath of the Almighty gives me life. Answer me, then, if you can. Stand up and argue your case before me. I am the same as you in God's sight. I too am a piece of clay. No fear of me should alarm you, nor should my hand be heavy on you. But you have said in my hearing, I have heard the very words, I am pure. I have done no wrong. I'm clean and free of sin. Yet God has found fault with me. He considers me his enemy. But he says, but I tell you, in this you are not right. For God is greater than any mortal. Why do you complain to him that he responds to no one's words? For God does speak, now one way, now another, though no one perceives it. And so even Elihu is telling Job, look, you're wrong in a lot of this. You do need to be rebuked. And he even says God does speak. He speaks now one way and now another, though no one perceives it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on people as they slumber in their beds, he may speak in their ears and terrify them with warnings, to turn them from wrongdoing, to keep them from pride, to preserve them from the pit. Their lives are perishing by the sword, or someone may be chastened on a bed of pain, with constant distress in their bones, finds food repulsive, and their soul loathes the choicest meals. They draw near to the pit, and their lives to the messengers of death. Yet if there is an angel at their side, a messenger, 1 out of 1,000, sent to tell them how to be upright, and that he is gracious to that person and says to God, spare them from going down to the pit, then that person can pray to God and find favor with him. They will see God's face and shout for joy. He will restore them to full well-being. So Elihu has the floor. He tells Job to pay attention, and he's going to speak all the way through chapter 37. He has 4 speeches, and his main argument is that Job has been spending so much time justifying himself rather than justifying God. And so we have a 4th counselor on the scene now. Let's look at his words and see if they're 100% accurate, 90, 70, or if he falls on the same side with the other 3 friends and he's just wrong and he just did a good job of being quiet longer, but he should have just shut up the entire time. What conclusions should we come to here? Let's hear all 4 of his speeches so we can make our judgment, and then we'll hear God speak so we can get the clearest verdict rendered before we leave this book. Thank you for digging into these dialogues with me, and let's continue to work through these chapters as we're almost done. You guys take care. Catch you next time.